Hello and welcome to YNWE Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this. Liverpool agrees to crucial transfer as latest Alexander Isak domino falls. The impending sale of Ben Doak to Bournemouth could set off a chain reaction of transfers that may ultimately benefit Liverpool. The £25 million, $33.8 million, exit of the Scottish winger is being orchestrated by the Cherries as a replacement for Dango Ouattara, whose move to Brentford was confirmed over the weekend. This should pave the way for Newcastle to finally secure Yoane Wissa, who has made it clear he wants to leave the G-Tech Community Stadium. If Wissa secures his desired move to Newcastle, it would mark the first phase of its plan to revamp its attack following Callum Wilson's departure and the controversy surrounding Alexander Isak. The latter was subjected to chants of "one greedy bee" from the Newcastle fans during Saturday's goalless draw at Aston Villa. While it's doubtful that Isak heard those chants given his absence on the day, Newcastle manager Eddie Howe once again faced a barrage of questions about his unsettled star striker before and after the match. "Of course, I've said many times I want him to train and play," Howe said. "I've had those conversations with him, but the details of these conversations need to remain private. Training alone is not something you ever want to see. You want to see him with the squad, you want to see him happy and enjoying his football. He is contracted to us. He is here, so for me, that is an unfortunate situation. Yes, I believe there is a way back for Isak. But of course, discussions and talks would need to take place for that to happen. But that's for another day. Today is Aston Villa and making sure we perform as well as we can." The coverage from journalists in the North East has remained steadfast regarding Newcastle's interest in Wissa. His potential signing shouldn't be interpreted as the club facilitating Isak's departure, though it would at least allow the hierarchy to concentrate on bringing in another striker to bolster their current options, despite operating without a sporting director. Thus far, the Magpies' search for an Isak replacement has yielded no results, having missed out on targets such as João Pedro and Liam Delap to Chelsea, and most recently Benjamin Sesko to Manchester United. Howe maintains that reintegration remains possible for Isak, though whether this position stems from a wish to preserve the player's market value in the transfer window's closing weeks is known only to those within St James Park. After making a £110 million, $148.9 million bid for Isak earlier in the month, Liverpool is now biding its time, ready to re-engage if Newcastle shows any signs of wavering over its number 14, who netted 23 Premier League goals last season. There's been a degree of sympathy for Howe as this saga has dominated headlines and shaped the narrative at pre- and post-match press conferences throughout the summer. It's an unwelcome distraction for the Magpies manager, as he prepares his squad for a new season that includes a return to the Champions League. "We are still active in the window and we'd love to add one or two players, but it really is quality over quantity," was the latest update from Howe, whose words were published in the Chronicle on Monday. "We don't want to just add, and I don't think we need to do too much more. We are strong, and in certain areas we've got good depth and will be able and resilient enough to get through a long, tough season. You look at the fixtures we have beyond the first international break, and it's relentless. We are going to need everybody fit and available and to contribute. So it's an important few weeks left in the window for us, and we certainly need to do a little bit more." Mark Guehi poised to emulate legends with Dream Liverpool shirt number. Liverpool has been bustling in the transfer window this summer, and there's potential for more deals to be finalized during the next 2 weeks. September 1st is the deadline day for the Reds, with ongoing speculation about who might make a move to Anfield before the window firmly closes. Arne Slot has welcomed 8 new signings to the Liverpool squad that he led to Premier League glory last season. Giovanni Leone became the latest addition to the team last week, joining from Parma after a deal was settled with the Serie A club. Despite Liverpool already securing 8 new signings this summer, there's room for more, particularly in the centre-back position, where Crystal Palace's Mark Guehi continues to be linked with a move to Anfield. Discussions between Liverpool and Palace regarding a possible deal for Guehi are still underway. The England international's contract at Selhurst Park expires at the end of the season, and he could be on the move this summer if Palace opt to receive a fee rather than let the defender depart as a free agent. If Liverpool is to strike a deal to sign Guehi, it would have the perfect welcome gift ready. The Reds will need to assign Guehi a squad number if he relocates to Anfield, and one ideal option may already be available for the defender. Liverpool currently has the number 23 shirt available for new signings this summer. The number has been unoccupied since Luis Diaz changed to number 7 in the summer of 2023, and it was previously worn by club legends Jamie Carragher and Robbie Fowler. Palace boss Oliver Glasner spoke about the futures of Guehi and Ebreki Eze ahead of Sunday's game against Chelsea, which finished goalless. "Very good, otherwise he wouldn't start," said Glasner when asked about Eze's mindset before Sunday's game. "I mentioned in the press conference before the game, Mark and EBS really trained well the whole week, and of course there's no reason not to start him." Transfer News Live Updates. Latest on Liverpool target Alexander Isak as Tottenham chase Ebreki Eze. The opening weekend of the Premier League season has not even finished yet, so I don't want to wish the days away, but it is impossible to not get a little excited about next Monday's Premier League fixture. That fixture, for anyone wondering, sees Liverpool travel to St James Park to face Newcastle, who will be playing their first home game of the campaign. It seems almost impossible that Isak will be playing for the home side, but if things move quickly this week, it isn't outside the realms of possibility that he could be leading the line for the visitors. The atmosphere will be electric regardless, but I can only imagine the noise that would greet Isak's every touch if he is wearing the red of Liverpool in that game. While not strictly a transfer, there was some pretty good news for Tottenham fans earlier today. Jed Spence had committed his long-term future to the club, extending his contract that, weirdly, Spurs haven't confirmed the length of. The 25-year-old has had quite the turnaround in North London, where he has gone from being surplus to requirements to being one of the first names on the tee sheet. Full credit to him for that, and he now has quite the reward. Spence has made 42 appearances for the club across all competitions since joining in 2022. Including a late introduction off the bench in the Europa League earlier this year. To balance out the argument from the last post, what Guardiola has always done so well is refresh his team with players that make the squad better. And one player that certainly made them better on Saturday was Tijani Reinders. Signed for an initial £46.6 million, $63.1 million, fee plus potential add-ons from Milan, he already looks the real deal. The Dutchman was magnificent on Premier League debut, playing a key role in all 4 City goals against Wolves, including a superb left-footed finish to open his account. I can't remember seeing such an accomplished debut from a player in the English top flight. And at that price, compared with the other valuations that we are seeing and hearing, it looks a fantastic piece of business. A cynic might criticize those Guardiola comments, given Manchester City have signed 11 senior players in the last 2 transfer windows. Continued investment in the playing staff at the Etihad Stadium has, unsurprisingly, led to a bloated squad. Looking at the names they have on the books, there are plenty that could be at risk of a late exit in this transfer window. Ederson and Savinho have been heavily linked with moves away, but what does the future hold for unused substitutes Nathan Ake and Manuel Akanji? Could young players like Nico O'Reilly and Abdulkadir Kuzanov follow Cole Palmer's lead in looking for regular football elsewhere? And even the likes of Phil Foden aren't being helped by the influx of signings, particularly in attacking areas. Alexander Isak to Liverpool transfer latest amid second offer update and £15 million discount claim. Alexander Isak is still the striker Liverpool want to sign with just 2 weeks remaining of this summer transfer window. The Reds remain ready to act should they receive encouragement from Newcastle United. Liverpool made a £110 million offer earlier this month, which their Premier League rivals rejected. However, the Reds are still willing to talk over a potential British record deal worth more than the £116 million paid for Florian Wirtz. Newcastle are not yet receptive to doing business, instead focusing on signing not 1 but 2 new strikers. Here, The Liverpool Echo has taken a look at the latest Isak reports and rumors as this waiting game continues. Former Sky Sports presenter Richard Keys claims Liverpool have a backup bid for Isak in addition to the one made earlier this month. Newcastle have had 2 really good offers, he claims in his latest blog post. Liverpool are prepared to pay £110 million now. Their backup bid is £80 million now and £60 million more next summer. I'm of the view the only thing Newcastle have to decide is which one to take. These comments reiterate remarks made during beIN Sports coverage of Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Keys, however, does not repeat the claim made on air that Real Madrid might be in the frame. I heard today that Liverpool have made a bid of £110 million. A second offer of £80 million now and £60 million next season. Take your pick, he said during the broadcast on Friday night. Former Manchester City financial advisor Stefan Borson has said Liverpool could get as much as a £15 million discount if they managed to sign Isak this summer. He believes Liverpool could do a deal for £125 million. Plus a load of add-ons, some easy and some not easy, after the club's play at St. James Park. Borson told Football Insider, "I think if we'd have looked at it at the start of the summer, you'd have said Liverpool will have to pay close to £150 million. If he does end up going now, I think they have successfully chipped off £10 to £15 million of his fee." Newcastle head coach Eddie Howe has effectively dismissed the idea that Isak informed him of a desire to leave the club in May. Claims that Isak made his intentions well known internally before the season ended are circulating in the national media. Howe has now addressed those suggestions. "Trust me, when that final whistle went, on the final day, that Isak leaving was the furthest thing from my mind," he told Chronicle Live before later adding, "I was not thinking of any individual in that moment, so I can't really give an answer on that. Fears Isak would leave this summer." Thanks for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.